Welcome to Journey JavaFX. This is the season 1 episode 11. In this episode we're gonna work on the HTML editor and interact with it, read and write, and also we're gonna set up the VM option. This is the most important part. Let's start. Alright, this is the dashboard for this episode. It's quite simple. Yeah, let's try it. From previous episodes we created this kind of a window, but now we are going to drop in that fancy editor. The name is called HTML editor. Find it, drag and drop it, something like this. We can make it bigger, just looking for the corner handler and drag it. So now we have it. Again, I'm going to do a save. To interact with it, we need to create a kind of ID, right? So this one we're gonna call it text HTML editor, right? As simple as that. We're gonna do a save. Even though there is a warning, we're gonna fix it right now. Go back to our IntelliJ, open the fxml. We find it on the bottom because this is the last item we drop it on that window, right? So now we see this, forward the mouse on it and then create this entry here. Again, I'm gonna turn it into private, but it's optional. It works as a public, no problem, but okay, private. All right, so now we have this thing. From last episode we have all of this. I'm gonna move this to a new button because let's just do it right away. We're gonna create a new button. This one will be called save. Let's change the name, btn save on action. All right, this is the method name we're going to create. Let's go ahead and change the look of it. This one will be save, and the color, let's choose a fancy color, like I don't know, orange. Yeah, looks good to me. Let's make it align with the other button, so in this way, yeah, looks better. All right, now let's go back to the IntelliJ JavaFX season 1. Here we gotta create a method for it, right? Because this save button will handle those file copy stuff. So now I'm going to copy paste whatever we did from previous episode to this. I cut it and then copy paste it into the save button, right? We are going to perform all of this inside of the save button. To test it out, oh yeah, here the exception part we got added to the signature right here. So now it should be okay to go. Let's just test it again, making sure it's working in the way we want. Okay, here is the most important part. Because we add a HTML editor control in our window, so this one is different from the other, like a text box, text field, sorry about that, and the buttons and the list view. This one is special. Remember in episode 3, I think I talk about the VM option, right? Yeah, my memory is still working. Before we use this line, right, I said we keep this one for the future. Now it's time. The reason why we have this kind of error message is more like this. Looking at this, the class whatever HTML editor in whatever cannot access class, whatever this. Okay, so when you see this kind of error, to fix it, very simple. Copy paste this line. Probably I'm gonna copy paste the tail because they are exactly same as the one we did before. I'm gonna copy from the comma and then go back to IntelliJ, click on here, edit config. Remember this VM option thing, right? We're gonna paste it in here, so it's gonna looks like this. After whatever JavaFX.fxml comma, JavaFX.web. We need this specifically for that HTML editor. I have no idea why it's like this, but it's more like, the thing is complicated when developers keep adding new stuff to the existing thing. They have to do some config, in the front, right? So this is their way to implement this kind of control, and we just follow along, right? They must have a good reason why it's like this, but on our end, yeah, this is the way it is. Apply and then OK. So now let's run it again. We won't have that error. Yeah, comes up by normally. So now we are going to test this save button. So now I'm gonna refresh it. Say before last time we used the episode 1 folder, right? So now we're gonna do it for episode already there. We're gonna do this for episode 3, right? So now I'm gonna select 3 and then save. All right, let's go. Yeah, we have everything, right? So the copy paste file portion works in the way we want. All right, I'm gonna minimize it and close this part. So this time we're gonna working on that, HTML editor thing. To get whatever is in there is quite simple. We just need to say, yeah, we're gonna use a string HTML editor, right? Because we are getting a string kind of data type from this object, from this control, right? Where to find it? It's gonna be text HTML editor dot get. Yeah, the method is called get HTML text. All right, simple as that. Let's do a s out p to print it out. Remove whatever is the default one. Copy paste in this new variable we created. Let's run it. It's as simple as that. And then so now I'm going to run this test button. So you'll see we get a blank thing. When you look at it, it's more like this. It's not, my notepad has some issue. Okay. All right, now it works. So this is the basic stuff. It's empty, all pure XML thing. I'm gonna format it. You see here we have HTML. This is the mandatory thing, and then we have a head, which is blank, and we have a body, then it's also blank, right? So this part coming from here. If we take a closer look, just click on this HTML editor control, go to the right hand side on the bottom, click on code. Here, not in the code, it's just in the top one. Under property, you can see some value is saving here. By default, it has this. It's just to maintain, it's kind of a pre-requirement for this thing, right? We can do a compare on it. This is the one initialized, right? So we can see, yeah, exactly same content. So then, this is kind of a default value for this control, even though we see nothing in it, but it has some basic HTML structure in it. All right, it's kind of, we are using this control to render all those stuff, and this is why we can apply those fancy fonts or color or whatever, right? Okay, so now we can test it again to see what's the difference if we actually put something in there. It's more like, say, okay, I'm gonna say hello JavaFX, right? And I want to make it bigger, say 36. I want it bold, and also I want it like italic, and then underline, and then a strike. So yeah, it's pretty fancy. So now when we click on this test, we will see much more information. Let's copy it out and see what exactly is happening. So the top part is the original, right? I'm putting the our fancy stuff on line 10. You can see here. Let's do a formatting to see what is that. It doesn't allow me to do it. Something goes wrong. I don't know. Okay. So now we can see we have more information, even if we just type in, hello JavaFX, but by adding all those bold, italic, all those underlines and strike, we have a lot more things going on here, right? So how this stuff were added is all handled by this HTML editor. So I think it's pretty amazing, right? So we're gonna keep this part for now. It's more like, okay, we still keep it in one line, just a simple copy. So for now, I'm gonna close this testing bench and then go back to our IntelliJ. So this thing is reading from the HTML editor. So now we are doing kind of, we want to set stuff to it. How to do it is very simple. Let's just create a variable, say HTML, raw, str. We have to follow the naming convention. HTML raw, right? It's just a pure HTML thing. And then I'm just going to copy paste the whole thing on this line, paste it here. It's pretty long. I don't want to format it, just leave it as it, because that part we don't want to look at. All right, we only want to see the formatted stuff, right? To set whatever is there is quite easy. I'm gonna comment this out. So to set value to that control is like this: txt HTML editor dot set whatever, and then we pass in this variable, right? So the variable will carry whatever is here into here, and then this method will put whatever is here into the control. All right, let's test it out. So now it's kind of blank, right? We're gonna click on the button, so we should see the same stuff. We just manually put in, like last round, right? So we're gonna click on it. You see, this is very easy. All right. So this episode is pretty quick. Then I'm gonna wrap up now. So the next one will be a little bit more complicated, because next one we're gonna working on, we want to save whatever is this, or the HTML, something like this, the complex one. We want to save all of this into a text file, and then we also want to read the text file. Okay, it's kind of two-way. After that, I guess our season 1 is coming to an end. All right, I'm gonna see you in the next one.